Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. I trust everyone is well. Welcome to another edition, another video here on Kosi Nation TV with me, Fari Rachikuni. An absolute pleasure to have you join me today. So today I am going to talk about the falling standards at the club. How standards have fallen over the years and continue to fall, and until we arrest the falling standards, we'll continue to suffer, we'll continue to not win things, and we'll continue to struggle. Anyway, before I get into that, please hit the like button, hit the subscription button, and share the content with your friends, your colleagues, your contacts, whoever it is, and let us grow this channel. And you can also follow me on my social media handles, which is @Chemfari, that is on Twitter, TikTok, as well as Instagram, and then on Facebook you guys can follow me on Fari Rachikuni. So anyway, getting back to today's topic, which is, like I said, the falling standards at the club, and how standards have continued to fall. You know, you only have to read what one of our legends said earlier on, back in May, in an interview. Max Maponyane, our leading goal scorer, with 85 goals for the club. He spent 11 years at the club, joining in 1981, leaving in 1992 after winning so many trophies and silverware with us. He just goes to, and he says we must give Coach Afazwane patience, and we are gonna win. We're gonna win silverware after 6 seasons. That was in an interview back in May. So that's the kind of thinking that is the problem with this club. So if we go by that logic and give Arthur Zwane 6 seasons, wait 6 seasons, and we're gonna win after 6 seasons according to Max Maponyane, that will be 8 seasons without winning, 14 seasons rather, without winning anything. If you add the 8 seasons, the dry spell that we're currently on now, and add another 6 that he speaks of, that is 14 seasons without winning anything. How does that make sense to anyone whatsoever? I thought the aim of elite sports was to win. Is to win. That is the pure and simple aim of elite sports, to win. And not to compete, to win. You compete to win. But according to Max Maponyane, who is a winner, after winning so many things with us, and he says we're gonna win after 6 seasons, so we must give Arthur Zwane a patience. Now, here's another thing. There is no doubt that Kaizer Chiefs is the biggest football club in the country. There is also no doubt that Kaizer Chiefs is the biggest sporting brand in the country, even bigger than the Springboks, for those that didn't know. So, for a club like ours, with the millions and millions of fans that we have, for us to go 8 seasons without a trophy is a disgrace. And that goes back to the management of this club. There's no doubt that the chairman, Mr. Ivan Khoza, is one of the great South Africans in the country, based purely on what he has done and where he has gotten Kaizer Chiefs to, all the way back to 1970. It's a brilliant success story in every way, shape, and form. This club, when I grew up, I'm an early 1980s boy, and I grew up with Kaizer Chiefs, with the standards there of us having each season at least one trophy was won in this club. If it was a bad season, we won at least one trophy each and every season. In 1992, we won 5 out of the 6 trophies that we competed for. You know, we were signing the best talent in the country. If we're not signing the best talent in the country, we're producing the best talent in the country. For example, Doc Kumalo, Thabo Moki, hey? You know, signing people like Ace Ntolengo, Teenage Dladla over the years. You know, we're buying people like Absalom Skaratinto. We're buying people like Shane McGregor, Fanny Madida from Blackpool, you know, Max Maponyana. All these guys. But now, what do we have now? If we look at the current squad and we look back over the 8 seasons that we haven't won anything, how many of those players will go down in the history books as Kaizer Chiefs legends? How many of the players that we've had for the past 8 seasons will go down as club legends at this club? And we confuse, here in South Africa, we confuse legends with people that have played for the club. Not everyone that plays or that has played for your club is a club legend. I mean, was it last season or was it early this season? The season before, where they had Masango, not Masango. What's the boy that left Chiefs, went overseas, came back and joined SuperSport? Mandla Masango. They had him on the MTN 8 as a club representative, as a legend of the club. Mandla is not a legend of the club. He just so happens to have played for the club. He's not a legend of the club. There are two totally different things, having played for the club and having legendary status at the club. So, getting back to the topic at hand, standards start from the very top. Those guys are the guys that set the standards for the club. The board, the chairman, the sporting director, who is now Kaizer Jr. And then you get the right coach, and then the right coach sets the culture. He establishes the culture in the playing group, and that culture then progresses to it comes to fruition in terms with the winning mentality of the club starting to win. We don't have that. I mean, just the latest examples in a long list of examples in terms of the falling standards of the club. Right now, as we speak, the club cannot decide the coaching group. If they had anything about them, you know, if they were proper leaders. This thing is very simple. You say, if you are going to retain Coach Athazwan, you then you do everything. You tell him that no, we are going to retain you, and this is what we are going to do moving forward. You don't keep Athazwane, and then on the side you are speaking to other coaches like, for example, Nasruddin Nabi, who is rumored to be lined up as an incoming coach. How does that work? It's either you believe in the work that Arthur is doing, or you don't believe in that work. And if you don't believe in the work, you move him along, and you get someone in who can do a better job. This does make it smacks of lack of leadership. It smacks of lack of direction. It's all incompetence. That is why we are here, having won nothing for 8 seasons. And we are a club that are looking to compete against clubs like Raja Casablanca, Al Ahly, Enyimba, you know, Mamelodi Sundowns here at home. Yet we can't even get our house in order in terms of the coaching setup. That is how low the standards have fallen. Look at the playing squad. In this current group that we have, we talk about, the coach talks about he signed youngsters. The only two players there in that squad who actually fall under the category of youngsters. It is young Samkelo Zwane and the other lad from the development. The rest, the guys that we signed, Sitebe, Yusuf Mat, Ashley Dupree, all these guys, Quiniga, they are not youngsters. How can you call a 27-year-old, 26-year-old, 29-year-old a youngster? It is embarrassing for us to have gone 8 seasons without a trophy. Next season, it will be the 9th season. Someone must account for the falling standards of this club. Kaiser Jr., yes, he only started in his new role as sporting director and beginning of last season. The season that just passed. But from the evidence that we have, the body of work so far, it's not promising. What is the plan? What is the plan for this club moving forward? Clearly, it's not signing youngsters and forming a team from youngsters, because there are only 2 youngsters in this team. The rest can't be classified as youngsters. So it's all a mess, man. Let's look at our midfield. Siteb, Yusuf Mat, Keegan Dolly. Who, just to name a few, who of these players currently that are playing will go down as club legends, having done something of substance at the club? We're the midfield of Doc Kumalo, Ace Kuze, Wellington Manyati. We had players of the ilk of Neil Tovey, Lucas Khadebe, Gardner Siale, and Tiema Pike, Shane McGregor, Fanny Madida, Absalom Skaratinto, Gary Bailey, Brian Baloy at the time. None of this current crop are fit enough to lace the boots of those guys. Wellington Manyat. We are no longer signing the best talent. We are no longer producing the best talent from our academy, which is sad. 8 seasons without a trophy for the biggest club in the country. Someone must account for that. Someone must get fired, and not only the technical team, someone up there at board level, because clearly they're not doing their work. It's unacceptable, totally unacceptable. Just like I said, we're even getting the coaching appointment wrong. There's now even talk of getting in Nasruddin Nabi to come as a co-coach, as it were. How do you have 2 CEOs of one company? How does that work? Even in the private sector, you can't have 2 CEOs. There's a hierarchy. There's a management hierarchy. Who do their players listen to? And even if Nabi comes, that's going to undermine Arthur Zwane on every level. And by the way, I don't think he's good enough. He should have been moved. He should have moved on. He should have been moved on long ago. He's not good enough. 12 defeats in the league in a season. Nowhere good enough. Nowhere near good enough. I agree with Shane McGregor that when he says it's out of his depth. So you move him out and you get a Nabi. If you're going to appoint Nabi, you appoint Nabi with his own team. with his own technical team, and you tell him what is it that you want, you give him the tools that he wants, and you let him get on with the business. If he fails, you move him out, you get someone in. You can't keep Athazwane within that coaching group and justify the decision by saying, he knows the culture. He knows the culture. What culture? A losing culture. Hey? We're not a club built on a losing culture. We're a club that has a history of winning. And it's time that we appoint winners, and even the technical team, behind the scenes, from the technical director, all these guys, we must get guys who are competent. Clearly, Kaiser Jr. has shown that he's not fit for purpose at this point in time, going by his body of work. The signings have been poor. The coaching setup has been poor. I mean, him, like I said previously, him as a sporting director, he is the one that is responsible for coming up with a playing philosophy for the club, from the first team all the way to the juniors. And then with the team with his recruitment team, they then recruit players that fit that philosophy. A coach that fits that philosophy, and then players that fit that philosophy. But ultimately, he is the one, as director of football, who comes up, who establishes a playing philosophy for the whole club, from top to bottom. Everything works down from there. You appoint the coach who fits that philosophy, and then the players that fit that philosophy. The development, everyone at development, the coaches that fit that playing philosophy. It all trickles down. So if we don't change it, if we don't change something, we are going to continue on this path of losing, not winning anything. And what do they say about insanity? What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. It can't be good enough that we're not winning anything for 8 seasons. It can't. Someone must account for that. Heads must roll. But anyway, that's my take for today. Give me your thoughts and your comments on this. Till next time, folks. Cheers.